Okay, good evening, everyone. If you are joining from the UK, you're joining from part of the world, and obviously it's not going to be good evening. Thank you for joining me on another live. Just want to be sure that I've got um, is streaming on where it's supposed to stream. So we are streaming on LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and Twitch. Okay, so today we are looking at what is a solutions analyst and why it matters in 2025. My name is Kwame. I'm a solutions analyst. So I use the word what instead of who because I wanted the focus to be on um, the what and not the who. So if maybe when you saw the topic and you were like, it's supposed to be who, not what, then it has a reason. The focus is not who as a personality or as a person, but what a solution analyst job entails. That is why the word what is used instead of who. Okay, so let's dive into it. So, what is a solutions analyst? So, first of all, it is a hybrid role that is business and tech role. Okay, a solutions analyst um, essentially is part business analyst and part systems analyst. Okay, so it's a blend of business analysis and systems analysis. So in my role, for instance, if you look at the title, my official title that appears in my emails and other correspondences, you see business system analyst. I mean, largely known as uh, solutions analyst, solutions configuration analyst. But okay, if you look at my email and how I sign off, you normally see business systems analyst. So that is what a solution analyst job is, a blend of business analyst and systems analyst. So what do business analysts do? Business analysts take a holistic view of an organization's processes to support improvements. And what do systems analysts do? They dive into technical details. They review code, databases, integrations, and they do all of that to make sure solutions are technically sound. Okay, solutions analysts focus on solving specific needs. Okay, so if you look at general analysts, they don't really have a focused perspective of the business. They look at the business from a holistic point of view, holistically. But a solutions analyst normally focuses on a particular niche of the business. They zero in on specific business problems or some missing capabilities that is identified by leadership. Okay, so in my company, for instance, we have solution analysts in various departments. So I'm not a solution analyst for all the departments in my company. I am a solution analyst in the credit decisioning department, and you have a solution analyst maybe in the fraud department because you need to zero in on specific business problems. And the mission of the solution analyst is to design and implement a solution to that problem. Okay, so for example, if I am a credit decisioning solution analyst, then all the business systems pertaining to credit decisioning is what my focus is, and I design and implement solutions pertaining to that problem. I may have some knowledge of fraud, you know, what the fraud people do, just for me to be able to interact with them well, but that wouldn't be my focus area. Okay. So solution analysts, they don't just propose ideas, they drive the creation of tangible solutions. Solutions analysts also, they are a bridge between what is and what could be. Okay, very important. They bridge what is now, and what could be, the aspiration. So, in practical terms, a solution analyst listens to stakeholders, they understands their pain points, and then solves the problems, their pain points creatively. So, to quote what one practitioner said, the job of a solutions analyst is not about tossing software at a problem, but about digging in with the people doing the work, asking the right questions, and bridging the gap between what is and what could be. Right? So, this empathetic, solution oriented mindset is at the heart of the role of a solution analyst. You need to put yourself in the shoes of the business. You need to feel their pain, and you should be desperate to find a solution for them. And for example, if you are a solution analyst and your job is to find solutions that are inclusive, for example, if there is an app that helps kids to study reading or to learn how to read, and you are a solution analyst, and you realize that a lot of people who have signed up to the app, or a, a large potential market, are people with ADHD. Okay, you need to have that empathy, that you want to solve the pain points of people who have ADHD, and as a result do not have that large attention. They've got attention deficit, and therefore they will not be able to listen for long. A solution analyst should have that empathy, should put himself or herself in the shoes of such people to be able to come out with a solution to help them. Okay, so that empathetic, solution oriented mindset is really at the heart of the role of a solution analyst. Okay, so let's look at the key responsibilities of a solutions analyst. In order to have that empathetic um, attention to helping businesses and customers meet um their pain points, what do you need to do in order to be able to do that? So the first and foremost responsibility of a solution analyst is that you gather requirements. Okay, so how do you do this? You have to engage with stakeholders to understand their business needs and document detailed functional requirements. Stakeholders, we've got internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. External stakeholders are normally your clients, your B2B clients. And internal stakeholders will be, um, you know, the senior execs and all of that. But normally your job is to satisfy the external stakeholders, because when the external stakeholders are happy, the internal stakeholders are also happy. Because when the external stakeholder, that is your customers, are happy, then what is known as the NPS, the Net Promoter Score of the company goes high, and your internal stakeholders becomes happy. Okay, so how do solution analysts engage stakeholders and gather requirements? We normally do this through conducting interviews, what we call the client discovery sessions. So interviews, workshops, and through that we define the project scope in a functional requirements specification. In some companies, it is not the solution analyst who will per se write the functional requirements. We have what we call solution consultants. For example, in my company, we have solution consultants who work with the solution analyst to document these functional requirements. But the input of the analyst, the solution analyst, is critical in doing so. So the solution analyst or the solution consultant and the solution analyst do the requirements gathering together in order to build these functional requirement specifications. The next key responsibility of a solution analyst is business and systems analysis. Okay, solution analysts map out current business processes and IT systems in order to identify gaps or inefficiencies. Remember at the beginning, I said that the job of a solution analyst is the blend of a business analyst and a system analyst. So this particular point of a solution analyst mapping out current business processes and IT systems, the whole idea is one to identify the gaps and the inefficiencies in the workflow. Okay. And when a solution analyst is doing this kind of job, he is working as a business analyst. It's like doing the job of a business analyst. Okay. So a solution analyst does this by scrutinizing how data flows and how systems interact. And by doing so, they often uncover improvement opportunities that align with the organizational goals. And they also have to consider any rules or constraints. For example, compliance, data governance, all of that might impact the solution. Okay, very, very important. Compliance and data governance issues, very, very important. You need to consider them because if you neglect them, then you are doing a bad business and you are going to start getting serious emails. Right. The next is solution design and recommendations. Um, Solution analysts recommend the best solution approach to address identified need. When solution analysts have spoken to the stakeholders, the external stakeholders, the businesses, the clients, then based on their requirements, they have to recommend the best solution approach to address their pain points. And this could involve, evaluating the options available and designing the high level solution. The analysts also have to ensure that the solution will deliver the intended business value and it aligns with both user requirements and technical realities. Okay, so the analysts have to find a good blend between addressing the business need and also considering the technical realities available. Okay, advising the client, the business, that these are the resources that we have to be able to help you overcome the pain point. It's very, very important to set those expectations right from the word go. Then, hands on implementation support. Solution analysts work closely with developers, IT systems, QA quality assurance, those people who do the end-to-end testing of the solution, solution architects, sales people, you work with all of these people. And what the reason you work with all of them is that you have to work with them to contribute to the design discussions. And if it's the salespeople, you help them to be able to establish a baseline to be able to communicate the ROI, the return on investment to clients. Okay, so the job of a solution analyst is very cross um, functional. You work with a cross functional team, and not only do you contribute to the design discussions, you also help troubleshoot issues, and sometimes you may even dabble in some light coding or configure systems if needed. Solution analysts don't do heavy coding because the, it belongs to the dev people, the, the software developers and all of that. So solution analysts are not software developers, but you need to understand the logic behind the code in order to even troubleshoot when you need to do so. So sometimes we do some bit of pseudo coding, light coding, or configure systems if needed. And they ensure that solution is built according to the functional specifications and resolve any mismatches between the business vision and technical execution. Then the last bit is the project coordination and delivery. Solution analysts oversee quality assurance, the QA people, and deployment of the solution by keeping the project on track. Okay, I mean, solution analysts are not project managers, but sometimes you have to do the job of a project manager. They frequently update stakeholders and they report the progress to senior IT or business leaders throughout the project lifecycle. So here you can see that a solution analyst is doing the job of a project manager. Okay. If um, you know, in such a situation, you can say that, in the words of one writer, solution analyst, you shepherd the project from idea to implementation. It's like you are like the shepherd of the team, and by so doing, you ensure a smooth rollout and that the end product meets business expectations. Right. Okay. So, what are the essential skills and competencies that a solution analyst should have and should continue to grow in? And if you are an aspiring solution analyst, if you're watching this and you aspire to get into solution analyst role, what are the essential skills and competencies you need to master? So the first, obviously, is technical proficiency. So you need to have a strong understanding of software development and IT infrastructure. So like I said, if you're a solution analyst, you don't really delve into extensive coding, but you should be able to grasp programming concepts. For example, object-oriented principles, APIs. Very, very important that you know how APIs work. Okay, as a solution analyst, you live in the world of APIs. Okay, so you should know how they work, the fundamental functionality or how APIs work in general. And you should be comfortable with the company's tech stack. So the solution that you are supporting, the tech stack that was used to build the solution, you should be comfortable with it. You should understand how it works. And sometimes, as you grow in your role, or depending on the role that you are going to get in, you should understand database and you should have some data skills. Okay, so sometimes you have to design schemas, you have to write some SQL queries and understand modern data architectures. on-premise, cloud, hybrid, and all of that. This technical know-how ensures that you can design feasible solutions and communicate effectively with developers. Because you work a lot with developers, if you don't understand their language, you will not be able to communicate well with them, and you'll not be able to explain things clearly to them, because some defects needs to be picked by developers, and you should be able to analyze the problem and be able to effectively communicate to them so that they will understand what you mean and come on board and fix the issue. Then once you become good at the tech side of things, you also need to have that business side of things. You need that business acumen. You need to have knowledge of the business domains, the business domains, the processes that you are working in. So if you're a solution analyst, let's say in an insurance company, you should understand insurance from A to Z. I mean, you can zero in on the specific department you are in. So, for example, if you are in the underwriting department, you should have that general knowledge of how insurance works and zero in on the underwriting department. Okay. So, most solution analysts, you'll find that they have backgrounds in business or they have backgrounds in specific industries in which they work. And this helps enable them to align technical solutions with business strategy. They understand how different departments operate and how value is measured, KPIs, ROIs, and all of that. This ensures solutions address real business goals. Okay, so you can't work as a solution analyst in a particular business industry and you don't have knowledge, you don't know what is going on there. So you should be reading, you should research, you should be knowledgeable in that arena. Okay, it helps you in your solution design and all of that. Then the next bit is communication and collaboration. Here is like your people skill. Solution analyst should have excellent communication skills, and that is a must because you'll be doing a lot of communication, all types of communication, verbal, non-verbal, written, spoken, you name it. So as a solution analyst, you should hone your communication skills. Okay. Zapier.com says that solution analysts work as a go-between with management and IT. You work as a go between management and IT. You are like the liaison between management and IT. So you explain complex tech issues in business terms and vice versa. And sometimes you need to be able to even calm down because a lot of people in management are not technical people. So as a solution analyst, you should be able to break things down to senior execs, explain to them what the problem is and what is being done to resolve it. Okay. Solution analysts, especially the senior ones, they lead meetings, write clear reports, and maintain dashboards so that everyone, from end users to executives, stays informed. Being able to influence and negotiate is also critical because you often, as a solution analyst, you often have to reconcile different stakeholder priorities. Stakeholders will be pulling you at every direction. Your ability to reconcile their differences is critical in your role. Then we have process modeling and analysis. And this also falls in the work of a business analyst because as a business analyst, one of the things you do is you model the processes. You analyze the processes in the business and model and find ways to make it better. And as a solution analyst, you do the same. You have to map and redesign processes using frameworks and tools. So you will find some solution analysts using methodologies like Lean or Six Sigma for efficiency and diagram workflows in UML or process flow charts. For example, using Microsoft Visio. In my own company, every analyst has the opportunity to uh, study Six Sigma. I've got a green belt in Six Sigma. I mean, green belt Six Sigma. Even if you want to study up to the black belt, you can, as long as you have the time and the the enthusiasm to study. Because as a solution analyst, you should be able to understand processes and how they work effectively. Okay, and if you get this skill, it helps you to visualize how a new solution will integrate into existing operations and what changes are needed in the workflows. Okay. Now, problem solving and creativity is also one key skill and competency of a solutions analyst, because at their core, solution analysts are problem solvers. Okay. They use critical thinking to interpret complex information and determine the best way to move forward on a project. Often the challenges are novel, so creativity is vital. If you keep solving the same problem over and over, you wouldn't really require creativity. But sometimes you can be presented with a new novel challenge, and that is where you need to tap into your creativity. You should be innovative and think outside the box sometimes to design effective solutions. Sometimes there will be no blueprint for you to follow. So you have to be creative, think outside the box, and design effective solutions. Okay. And you know, it involves devising workarounds or clever integrations when off-the-shelf answers aren't obvious. Now, like I said, a solution analyst sometimes does the job of a project manager. So project management is also an essential skill that you need. um, even though you are not a formal project manager, as a solution analyst, you need a solid project management skills. Why? Because you have to coordinate tasks among cross-functional teams. You manage timelines and ensure everyone knows their responsibilities. Okay, so familiarity with agile methods, Scrum, Kanban, all of that is very, very important and is needed if you want to be a solution analyst in 2025 and beyond. Many projects do not use the waterfall um, project management style. Many projects now use what we call the Scrum. You run a sprint and you use the agile method. So for agile development, it is iterative. Okay, continuous development and continuous improvement and continuous deployment. So it goes round in cycle. And as a solution analyst, you act as a project manager in order to be able to develop things iteratively. So you have to be organized and be able to guide a project from initiation to delivery. And doing that will make you a very successful project, a solution analyst. Okay. Now, why do all of these matter? Why solution analysts matter in 2025 and beyond? First, there's an acceleration of digital transformation. In the current business climate, all industries are under pressure to modernize and integrate new technologies because of AI, cloud, Internet of Things, you name it. Solution analysts are at the heart of strategy development for these initiatives to ensure data-driven decisions turn into actionable projects. Solution analysts help organizations adapt quickly, and they do that by translating fast evolving tech capabilities into business solutions. And solution analysts matter because businesses function through cross-functional collaboration. Okay, modern problems rarely lie in one department. Companies become as complex, as they become complex and interconnected, solution analysts facilitate collaboration across business, IT, and operations. Okay, so solution analysts speak the language of each stakeholder, executives, end users, developers, and by so doing, they align everyone towards a common solution. In 2025, agile business environments is the way to go. Like I said, waterfall development is gone. We've given way to agile. So the role of a solutions analyst is crucial for breaking down silos and driving some unified efforts. Then maximizing tech investments. Organizations are investing heavily in software, data analytics, and automation tools. A solution analyst makes sure these investments pay off by aligning them with real needs and strategic goals. Okay, so companies do not want to implement tech for tech's sake. That will become waste of resources. So a solution analyst makes sure that real value is created by aligning these technologies to real business outcomes. Okay. Then data-driven decision in AI. I've already mentioned AI. Okay. Because of AI and the rise of analytics, solution analysts in 2025 leverage these tools to enhance their work. So for instance, generative AI can automate parts of data analysis or prototyping and can allow the analyst to focus on strategy and creative solution design. Okay, those are stuff that an AI cannot do well. So those repetitive tasks, you allow AI to help you to automate them. Most companies are doing that. Then you can have the bandwidth to focus on strategy and creative solution design. Okay, so that is why solution analysis matter. Now, let's look at career outlook and growth opportunities. Obviously, from all that I've said, you could see that because solution analysis is the marriage between the business and the tech, there will continuously be a high demand for solution analysts across industries. And that I'm going to spew out some statistics. Most of the statistics are from the US, but it is very much equivalent. It's very much the same in the UK. The picture is the same in the UK. And it's interesting that the company that I'm working in is a US company. Okay. The the president, the one who's at the very top is from the US. The main headquarters is in the US. And we've got a very big representation also in the UK. So solution analyst jobs normally are found in most US companies, but it is also very much common in the UK. Just that in the UK, other names are given to it, but in US, there is that clear distinction between solution analyst, system analyst, and business analyst. Okay, so yes, very high demand for these roles. The roles are keeps growing steadily. Okay, in US, we have over 308,000 solution analysts that are employed. They were employed from 2018, and it is projected that by 2020, from 2018 to 2028, that decade-long projection, we have about 308,000 solution analysts that will be employed. And that projection, the growth is 9% from 2018 to 2028. And there will be 56,000 new jobs in that decade. Okay. At this moment, there are nearly 168,000 job openings for solution analysts in the US. And like I said, it's very much the same in the UK. I mean, the UK have quite conservative figures. It's not exactly 160 like the US. Like I said, solution analyst role is more of US roles that have trickled down also to the UK. Okay. So all of these shows that solution analyst jobs are really sought after skill. Industries like consulting, finance, tech, and retail are all hiring solution analysts to guide them in their critical projects. Then the compensation can be rewarding, especially in the US. I can't say very much the same for the UK, but even in the UK, there are some companies that pay quite very well. Okay. So again, these figures are mainly US figures, but the same can be said largely for most UK companies, especially if you get a job that is in the south, if close to London and all of that, they consider all of that. Okay, so um, in the US, salaries for analysts are on the rise. They've been increasing approximately 8% over the last 5 years, according to Zapier.com. The average salary in the US is around 80K, which is like 59K annually. 80K USD, which is like 59K Great British pounds. Like I said, the figure in the UK is a bit lower. So on average, I would say in the UK is, I think I'm going to give a range. It's between 30K to 50K. If you are lucky, there are some companies that pay way below that anyway. But on average, it's, I should say, 30K to 50K. But if you become an experienced analyst and you really hone down on your skills and you become very good in a particular niche, then you can really attract huge figures. You can earn six figures actually. So it reflects the value that organizations place on professionals who can deliver results at the intersection of technology and business. Okay. There are career pathways also. Sometimes not too clear in some organizations, but there are a lot of organizations where the career pathway is very clear. So you can start as a solution analyst and you end up progressing to become a solutions architect. And as a solutions architect, you take on a more strategic role in designing overall systems and long-term IT roadmaps for the business. Okay. And if you're a solutions architect, you would work closely with senior leadership like CIOs, CTOs, and guide teams of developers and analysts. Other paths include transitioning into project management. So I told you that the work of a solution analyst is also project management. Sometimes you work as a project management. So some solution analysts veer off and become project managers if they don't really enjoy the solution analysis. Then they won't just, if they are very good at managing teams, they want to go into project management. And some become senior business analysts. Like I said, one of the things that solution analysts do is process improvement. So some grow to become senior business analysts, especially if you are the type that enjoys planning and stakeholder management, then you'll be very good becoming a senior business analyst. Uh, Solution analysts with strong technical leanings become development team leads. If you have very strong technical leanings, then you can become the lead of the development team. Then consulting and leadership. The skill set of a solution analyst is also an excellent stepping stone into consulting or leadership roles. Many find that after mastering the act of delivering solutions internally, they can become external consultants by advising multiple companies on solving their challenges. Okay. So within their own company, solution analysts often grow into management roles and they lead interdisciplinary teams. The breadth of experience from technical to business to people skills makes these professionals well suited for leadership in tech driven areas of the business. Okay, yeah. So all of these are the possible career paths and growth opportunities for solution analysts. Okay. All right. Now let's try to wrap up this talk by talking about tips for aspiring solutions analysts. Okay. Now, if you want to get into this role, you should develop a T-shaped skill set. And by T-shaped skill set, what I mean is that strive to build both depth and breadth. Depth and breadth. Okay. So gain technical skills. Okay. Learn, a programming language, SQL, databases, basic system design, and business knowledge. Learn about finance, operations, whatever domain interests you, the domain that you want to work in, learn about it. This combination is powerful. It enables you to understand how technology can solve real business problems. For example, knowing how a web application works end to end and how an e commerce business operates will let you propose effective solutions in a retail company. Then you have to be practice analytical problem solving. Okay, get involved in projects that require you to analyze a messy process and improve it. This could be in your current job, a volunteer project, or even a personal side project. Then document the steps. How did you gather the requirements? How did you identify the root cause of the issue? What solution did you propose? This practice will hone your critical thinking. Employers love to hear concrete stories of how you solved a problem or saved the day. It's a preview of the value you will bring as a solutions analyst. Then enhance communication skills. Like I said, the work of a communication analyst, you are a communicator. So work on being the translator between tech and business. You could start by writing summaries of technical projects in plain business language or vice versa. Seek opportunities to present findings or lead meetings. Seek opportunities to present findings or lead meetings. I can't say it enough. It's very, very important. That is how you hone your communication skills. The better you get at communication, that is speaking and listening, and writing and all sort of non-verbals, the more effective you'll be in gathering requirements and gaining stakeholder buy-in. Remember, explaining complex issues in a way everyone understands is a core part of the job of a solution analyst. Familiarize yourself with methodologies. Learn the tools of the trade, agile project management, UML for modeling, process mapping techniques, and even base of UX design. Okay. You don't have to be an expert in all, but knowing the fundamentals will make you versatile. If your company uses, for example, Jira or for Agile or Visio for process flows, try to get comfortable with them. And you can even pursue some certifications in business analysis like CBAP or project management, PMP, Scrum Master, and all of that. All of that can boost your credibility. And finally, stay curious and user focused. Solution analysts shine when they combine curiosity with empathy. So always ask why to truly understand a requirement. The five whys technique can be very useful. Ask why 5 times to get to the bottom of things. Put yourself in the end user's shoes. Solution only matters if it helps the people involved. So keep it by if you keep a learning mindset and focus on the user impact, you will continuously improve and remain relevant in this field. Okay? So by concluding, I want to say that a solutions analyst we normally call the career for innovative all-rounders. Okay. Solution analyst is the career for innovative all-rounders. And it's easy to see why. Because you wear so many hats: analyst, technologist, communicator, project coordinator. So you have to ensure that great ideas become reality. All of that are worn so that you make great ideas a reality. So this role stands out as a catalyst for effective change in organizations. Why it matters? Ultimately, a solution analyst makes sure that technology works for the business and not the other way around. Okay? So by keeping projects aligned with business goals, bridging gaps between silo teams, and staying agile in the face of change, solution analysts bring meaningful outcomes, faster processes, happier customers, cost savings, you name it all. So if you are considering this role, whether you're hiring one or working with one or becoming one, we have to remember that solution analysts are translators and problem solvers at heart. They thrive on challenges and collaboration. If you're looking to innovate and improve how things get done in 2025 and beyond, solution analysts might be the hero that you need on your team. So feel free to reach out with questions or share your own experiences. If you are somebody who wants to enter into the role of a solution analyst, feel free to reach out and let's have some conversation. And I could be of some help to you. So thank you so much for joining me on this live. I wish you all the best and I wish you the best of luck.